Hello, Anime here. So, since I finished season 1 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I figured I would do a review and tell you guys what I thought. My first initial thoughts going into JoJo was I'm not too sure what to expect for this show because I've seen kind of just like clips and memes and stuff about the show, so I had no idea what to expect. The first season, first part, I'm gonna review that part first. The thing about the first part of the first season was it had Jonathan Joestar and Dio Brando. Now, it was not the most exciting at first. Like, it didn't start out that the best, and it did have moments where it was not the most exciting, but it still was really good. Jonathan Joestar, I did not like too much. I thought, he wasn't the most interesting or intriguing character. He was pretty cool, but not as cool as, say, Dio Brando. Like, Dio Brando, he stole the spotlight in the first part. He was a very interesting and intriguing, villain. Just the way that he was going about everything. And it was just really neat to see. But Jonathan didn't really have too much going for him in the sense of uniqueness and kind of craziness or personality and stuff. So I'd have to say that the first part of the first season was not the most intriguing and the most interesting in my book. It did really good getting you kind of introduced to the whole style of the show, which I've got to say I absolutely love. I love how colorful it is. I love the poses they do and everything. It cracks me up so much. And I just love, I don't know, the way that they go about having the poses in there and whatnot as they're fighting. So that was really funny and really cool to see. And I absolutely loved it. I thought it was really fun to watch. So that's my take on just the first part of the first season. I would probably give that maybe a rating of like a 5 or 6 out of 10. Because like I said, it was not the most in your face interesting at first. So now on to part 2 of season 1. That's when it gets a lot better because you're introduced to Joseph Joestar, which is the grandson of Jonathan. And I absolutely love this guy. He was such a cool main character. He's got so much witty banter, and when he fights, he comes up with really interesting ways to actually try to win the fight, and he kind of comes up with it on the spot while he's fighting and stuff. And then the way he does it, where he's like, and now you're going to say this, that, or whatever, and it cracks me up so much, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was so fun to watch, and it was so cool just to see what he would do next and what he would say. And then this one also introduces the Pillar Men, the 3 of them, which I thought was really cool. There was I think his name was Cars, ACDC, and Mamu. And they were all really interesting in their own ways about how they would fight and their way of going about fighting, because Cars was an underhanded fighter. He would do things to win no matter what. The other 2 were more of the wanting to be a warrior spirit, where they really respected you if you were a really good fighter, and they were really respectful and followed what they said. And you really, really get a cool sense of their warrior spirit and stuff when they fight. It was so cool just seeing kind of how they are as villains. They were very interesting as villains, and they were after the stone of Aja, which was really neat to see, this really cool looking stone and kind of what it would do for them. And you see what it could do after when Cars gets hold of it, and it makes him kind of into almost an immortal being, and he's so powerful. And it's so amazing to see. And it amps it up a lot in the second part. The second part I really thoroughly enjoyed, and I thought that the characters were a lot more interesting. The fights were a lot more interesting. I really enjoyed it a lot more than the first part. So I am really glad that I stuck with it, and I continued to watch the second part because that was really, really good. And I really loved the way that they ended out the show, because they what happened was at the very end of the battle when he was fighting cars, and like I said, he was like an immortal being in a sense. Joe almost dies. You think he's dead, but he walks in on his own funeral, which is the funniest thing I have ever seen. I absolutely love that. I thought that was absolutely hilarious because they're having the funeral, they're so sad, and then all of a sudden you see him walk out of his car and he walks up to them and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" And then he looks, he sees that it's his funeral, and he's like, "Oh my god." It's like, oh, it was so funny. Then they're like, "You're alive, Jojo?" And they're just so happy to see that he's actually alive. And then they find out he got married because like his wife comes with them, and I'm just like, oh, okay, this is great. And then you find out that she didn't send the card to tell them he was still alive. So it's just the most hilarious thing because you would think that that'd be the main priority, is making sure that they knew he was alive, but because he was kind of out of commission because he was hurt so badly and he trusted her to do it and she didn't do it, they didn't think he was alive, and it was just absolutely hysterical. And it was like the best way to end off those characters. And the fights were amazing how they ended. And then it introduces a new character at the very end. He's like sitting in the jail with like the hat and everything. And my brother is saying, because I watch it with my brother, that that's a very popular character he's heard of a lot. And a lot of people really like him. So I'm so curious to see who this character is and what he's going to bring to the next season of this show. So I would rate the second part of the first season maybe like a 7 or 8 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really enjoy this show, so I'm super excited to see what second season has to offer when I get around to watching it with my brother. It's kind of hard because we both work and we like watching it together. So I'm very, very excited because people have said that the first season is not the best, but it gets a lot better the second season, and then the third season's really good. So I'm very ready to see, how much better the second season is compared to the first season, because I really like the second part of the first season. So I'm really, really excited for the second season. It's going to be awesome. Well, that is it. That is my review of Jos Bizarre Adventure Season 1, because that's all I've watched so far. I just finished watching it yesterday, so it's still fresh in my brain how much I liked it. Let me know if you guys have liked it in the comments, because I really want to know if you have really liked it. Just the first season. Don't let me know about the second or third. You can say if they're really good. But I don't want any spoilers because I have not watched it yet. And plus, a lot of people probably have not watched all of it. So please do not spoil it in the comments. But please let me know what you guys thought of it, because I personally really liked it. Did not like the first part of the first season, but I thoroughly enjoyed the second part. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you guys will give me a like and subscribe to become part of the Animate Nation today. I love you.